The new Abattoir of Zzz content just came out, and I was super excited to play it, get in there, and get some new endgame in Diablo 4. And I'll say that based on what I've seen so far, Abattoir of Zzz is a bit of a letdown for me. And before you go and go to the comments section and say, hey, just get good, I understand that, and I'm going to explain to you why you can't just get good and complete this content. You actually just have to spend an ungodly amount of hours in order to do the same content over and over and over again to the point where it feels very repetitive. So what am I talking about? Well, Season 2 just released the Abattoir of Zzz endgame event, and Blizzard's asking for feedback, so I thought it was important to share some of my thoughts and feelings, and I think it's important for all of us to as well. So please let me know your thoughts. They have created these dungeons, and after completing the first level of the dungeon, you get this special glyph. And in order to progress and continue doing the dungeons, we've made it through 11 so far. You just need to do the same dungeon over and over, and the mobs get more health. They get a little bit more damage, but it didn't really feel noticeable. The only thing that happens is the health goes up a lot. It goes really, really high. It goes so high to the point where you actually can't outgear the fight with gear separate from the new glyph that was introduced. The only way to continue progressing is to level up this glyph. Rob just surpassed level 15 on the glyph, and it is costing him 65,000 experience just to level it up. From 15 to 16. For reference, a level 21 glyph I think costs around 500 or 600 experience for that last level. So this new glyph at level 15 costs 65,700 experience. What is the only way to get this experience? Well, it's to do the Abattoir of Zzz, because that's the only realistic way to get that much glyph XP. And the whole objective of leveling this up is just so you can do the next level of Abattoir of Zzz. Effectively, you are just leveling up this glyph over and over again until you can make the content feel the same as the lower level Abattoir of Zzz that you just completed. There's no increase in difficulty yet. Maybe there's another affix or two that's hidden. We can't really even see, what they are. But as you go up in tiers, you might get an extra affix. But that's effectively all it is. At some point, you reach a wall, like I did. I hit a wall around 12, and then I took a break for dinner. I came back and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. Let's get back into it. Let's level up our glyph because we can't really progress further. My gear is nearly perfect. I spent hundreds of hours, farming up this gear, leveling up already this season. And now I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to have to spend hundreds more hours just leveling up this glyph if I want to complete the Abattoir of Zzz to level 25. And the best or the worst part of it is this glyph after the season is over is just gone. So at least if I'm spending hundreds of hours farming up a Shaco or a Doombringer, like I get to keep them. They're on my account for forever. And I love that. I love so many of the changes for Season 2. But I really don't love the Abattoir of Zzz. It reminds me a lot of Diablo 3. And I know a lot of people love Diablo 3. Me personally, I did not love the unlimited Paragon leveling that you could do. Basically, what this meant was as much time as you dedicated to the game, you could endlessly make your character stronger. And the only way to do it, at some point, your gear all became, perfect. It was really good. The only way to continue making your character stronger was just the amount of hours that you could play in the game. There wasn't an item you were chasing. There wasn't a special boss that you needed to outskill. It's literally the amount of time that you can spend at your computer grinding greater rifts over and over and over again until you can get your Paragon higher. The development team told us that this was not coming to Diablo 4. There's going to be a level cap. There's no such thing as unlimited Paragon, and that was all true. It was great. I've been enjoying the game, and I've really liked that they changed the philosophy from Diablo 3 in terms of unlimited scaling based on time played. But now with Abattoir of Zzz, and this isn't permanent, so I'm not saying D4 is dead or D4 is bad. I'm giving my feedback so that something like this isn't implemented or isn't made permanent, because I don't think that unlimited scaling like the Paragon system in Diablo 3 is really healthy or very good for ARPGs. I think your power should be derived from your gear, your skill as a player, and how your build is created. But what does this have to do with Abattoir of Zzz? Well, this glyph was introduced. The only way to continue pathing through Abattoir of Zzz is to level up this glyph. The only way to level up the glyph is in Abattoir of Zzz. It's a cycle that feeds upon itself. And they've said that it's capped, right? So it technically has a cap of level 200. Well, as we already mentioned, level 15 alone was already 65,000 experience. So hitting that 200 cap, I will be surprised if anyone hits it. I know a lot of people right now are just split farming. The best way to level up your glyph, you just go from completion. You get a bunch of your friends to all get to the end, and then you just go and you just hit the boss, and you go to your next friend, and sure, if you do it that way, you might be able to get to 50 or 100, but getting this thing to 200 is effectively an unlimited cap, and any player, any average player is never going to hit it. It's a little bit silly to say that it is capped when the reality is not even 0.01% of players will probably ever hit that cap. By that logic, then it is not capped. Not only that, but you also don't really get any items. So far, all the items have been from eye power 900 to 925, so not bad. But you get 4 of them, I think, at the end of a run. So really, you're not getting anything except the glyph XP. There's really no incentive except the glyph XP and the challenge of how much time you can spend in the Abattoir of Zzz, essentially. And then at the end of the season, what happens to the glyph? Poof. Hundreds of hours for a glyph that's gone. And just not what I had in mind when I was thinking of endgame for Diablo 4 and improvements that could be made. I really like the idea of challenging boss fights and having to learn the mechanics, outskilling it. And not everything has to be a gear check or a time check. Let players outskill something. I'm going to keep pushing and see how far I can make it with a reasonable amount of time dedicated. So let me know in the comments how you feel about the Abattoir of Zzz, if you just think I'm complaining, or if you really love it and you'd love to see this implemented permanently in Diablo 4 for the future, because this is all feedback that I think the developers really want and really need. And so if I'm off base, please tell me. I would love to hear all opinions on the matter. And we know the devs listen. So this is a great opportunity to share your feelings on how you would like the end game of Diablo 4 to look like, and whether this is what you were picturing or not. So anyway, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to see how far I can make it, but in the meantime, I hope you all have a great time in Diablo 4, whatever you end up doing. If you're participating in Abattoir of Zzz or not, if you're just looking forward to the holiday event, however you have fun in the game. I'm going to keep having fun. I'm going to keep playing it the way I play it. I don't know how much I'm going to stress over the Abattoir of Zzz, but I'm going to try to push it. So I'll see you all out there.